The Chevy Corvette has always been America's answer to the supercar. Raw power, stunning speed, and a price tag that undercuts the competition. But today, prices are climbing, and the Corvette isn't quite the affordable dream it used to be. That's why the C6 stands out. It's fast, it's reliable, and it's one of the last proper Corvettes you can actually get your hands on without breaking the bank. In this video, we're diving into why the C6 Corvette is remembered as the last affordable Vette. Yes, today we have a 2005 C6 Corvette. This one in particular is from 2005, the first year of the C6 generation. Taking a look at it from the outside, we have this huge hood up front covering an LS2 engine, a 6-liter powerhouse, naturally aspirated V8, producing 400 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque, moving this car from 0 to 60 in just 4.2 seconds. Coming down the side here, we have two 45 tires in the front, two 85s in the rear, not too big, not too small. Very sleek lines coming down the side of this car. And then coming to the rear, we have this smaller deck lid. Again, distinguished of a Corvette, large hood up front, small trunk in the rear, sports car qualities. Then coming totally to the rear, we have Corvette's iconic circular rear tail lights and a quad pipe exhaust down below. And fun fact, this car has the smallest dimensions since 1962 of any Corvette. And then since then, it's gotten bigger again. So this is one of the smallest Corvettes ever made. Let's head in and take it for a drive. Let's get going here. So like I was saying, this is a 2005, which was the first year of the C6 platform. Coming off the C5, this was actually a huge improvement. It wasn't just an iteration, it was more of an evolution. Maintaining the iconic Corvette proportions of a long hood and a short rear deck lid, this thing was undeniably a Corvette. It was actually smaller than the outgoing C5 model and lighter than the outgoing C5. It was the first Corvette since 1962 that didn't have pop-up headlights. Oh, it's a little tail happy. That's fun. The interior of the Corvette is a little bit boring, I'll be honest, but it does what it needs to do. You have analog gauges up front that tells you everything you need and nothing you don't. No screens to get in your way whatsoever. The radio is a radio. It gets the job done. The steering wheel is light, but it feels good. MSRP when these renew is roughly $50,000 US. Nowadays, looking on the used market, you can get a good one for $20,000 to $30,000 US. And that's just such a good deal. When you consider this thing has 400 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque, 2 doors, 2 seats, and it's a proper sports car, you really can't beat that price. What could you even compare it to? A Porsche 987, a Nissan 350Z, 370Z, a Mustang GT, but these just aren't close. They can't even really compare at the price we're talking about. When you consider you get this amazing LS2 engine, if you buy a 2008 C6, you actually get the LS3 engine, which has more power and more torque. Couple that with a manual transmission, a Tremec no less. So you can have all the fun you want with the 3 pedals. It's just a complete package. This car has very little faults. Any fault that it does have, you can blame it on the time. In 2005, right? Like, materials weren't so good, especially for a Chevy product. And that's okay. When you come into it expecting that, it's totally fine. And yet, it's still a huge improvement over the C5, which had completely bargain basement materials. This was a huge step up from that car. That's 6 liters, man. 6 liters. It's huge. It sounds so deep and throaty. It's an amazing sound coming from this engine. Oh. Get a little wheel chirp hitting in third. The pedal box is pretty nice. You know, it's not perfect for heel toe, but it's good enough. The steering is nice and precise, as good as you'll ever need for driving this thing on the road. This is not a track car, it's a sports car, it's a GT cruiser. For that, it's really, really good. Fun fact, it has a Leaf suspension in the rear, but it's not your granddaddy's Leaf suspension, you know, from his 1960 truck. This is composite. It's lightweight and perfectly tuned for this car. It's not something you'd ever really want to drive on the track, but around town, it's super comfortable and every bit as precise as you'll ever need. With 400 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque, again, this is everything you'll ever need for the road and more. It's really, really fun to drive. But I think this is one of the last affordable Corvettes, and I'll tell you why. If you look at the C7s, the generation ahead of this, that will forever be known as the last of the front engine Corvettes. Especially those C7s as manual, I think those are gonna skyrocket in price. It makes sense. They're great cars, and they're the last of a generation, literally. If you look between them, the C5 and the C7 is this, the C6. And I think it's the perfect middle ground. This thing will let you have so much fun for a bargain price. And then look at the new market. What could you get new that even compares to this? Corvettes are totally mid-engine now on the C8 platform. And they're doing amazing work there with the C8, the Stingray, the Z06, and now the CR1. It's a completely different ballgame. It's not even comparable to this car. I think that's where this car is an interesting value proposition. You just won't get this for very much longer, if at all, ever. Now, Chevy made a shit ton of these cars. In the first year alone, in 2005, there was like 35,000 Corvettes produced, which is just insane to me. These things are kind of everywhere. If you go to any Cars and Coffee, there's gonna be a dozen, if not more, of these. And that's okay, they're great cars. They're really fun to drive. They're not super special, but that's okay. Again, I think having so many of them will always keep the prices down for the everyman buyer. And the engines that are in these C6s, the LS2 and the LS3, were developed with the Le Mans racing team, the C6R team. So you know that proper engineering was put into these engines. Driving the C6 on a day like today, with the top down, the sun in your face, there's something really special about this. People are diehard fans of these cars, and now I know why. It's just so fun, so unique, so special, but at a great price. You get a sweet engine, you get an amazing transmission. There's just not much more that can beat this, honestly. And it's sad to see that in the market today, this doesn't even exist. Like, how are you gonna get a V8 two-seater that you can put the top down in? I mean, sure, maybe a Lexus LC500, but does that really even compare? It's like apples and oranges, totally different beast. As more and more people realize that this is a bygone era, that this really won't come back probably ever, that these cars are going to appreciate it. They won't appreciate too much because there's hundreds of thousands of these that were made. They're just not rare, but still they are very special in their own right. It's got pep, man. This thing, it's fast. I would say one gripe about this car is I wish the exhaust was louder. It's really subdued. You know, you get that nice and throaty V8 sound, but it's kind of quiet. If I were to ever buy one of these, I think that'd be one of the first things I'd do is throw an exhaust kit on this. Another little quirk about this car is that if you're not really giving it in first gear, like if you're not revving it out, it'll push you from, instead of going into second, it'll put you right into fourth. And I think it's to save gas, but if you're buying one of these, do you really care about saving gas? And it's so hard to believe that 2005, 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds in a bargain sports car. New sports cars today sometimes have trouble reaching 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. When you put it into context like that, it's not hard to believe that the Z06 and CR1 from the C6 platforms are some of the best Corvettes ever made. And that is the Corvette C6. I had a lot of fun driving this car, and I think a lot of people do every day of the year because a lot of people own them. And there's a reason why. They're a lot of fun for not a lot of money. And I think that's why the C6 Corvette is an unbelievable bargain. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. This is a really small channel and that would really help out a lot. Thank you in advance. Anyway, thank you.